Now, what this line essentially means in our Python is, let's say for I in range, um, and the number of items that we are talking about, there are altogether 6 items, but we are required to start from 2 all the way to 6. But in Python, the last the stop value, which is not inclusive, so we have to say from 2 to 7. Okay, so I'll note that 7 is not included. So essentially, we are going through a for loop that starts from the index 2 all the way up to index 6. So this is essentially what this line is talking about. Okay, um, every round of the every round of this for loop that you go through, after going through one for loop, your pointer will increase from 2 to 3, and then go through another round of the for loop, it becomes 3 to 4, and so on and so forth, all the way up to 6. Okay, so this is actually a for loop here. Okay, so I just want you to bear in mind on that. Now, subsequently from here, so that's what it means is that your pointer will take on value of 2, and after going through the for loop, maybe it will increase to 3, you increase to 4, you increase to 5, you increase to 6, and then that's the end. Okay, so let's start with 2 first. I'm going to go through step by step. Okay, I'm going to highlight over here. Now, my list pointer. Currently, my pointer is a 2. So my list 2. 2 is actually 21. Okay, 21 over here. And I'm going to put that into the item to be inserted. Item to be inserted will be 21. Okay, so over here, pointer minus 1, so that will be 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 have to be assigned to current item. So current item is 1. Okay, now my least current item, which is over here. Okay, my least current item is 1. My least 1 is 53. Is 53 bigger than is 53, so I'm going to write here, is 53 bigger than the item to be inserted, which is 21. So, okay, so obviously it is a true. Okay, right? And then is our current item. Current item is 1. 1 bigger than 0. Yes, it is true. Okay, so what are we supposed to do? So because in the while loop, both conditions are met and it's an end, so both true will get into the while loop now. First thing in the while loop, we need to do is to look at my least current item. Current item is at 1, my least 1, which is 53, 53, and then this is my least 2. So you have to assign the 53 into my list 2. Here. So we are over at this line. My list 1, the value, insert into my list. Current item is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, so my list 2, insert into my list 2. So there it goes, 53 is inserted into my list 2. We come to here, current item will now become current item minus 1. So current item minus 1, so that is a 0. And let's go back to check this while loop. The condition for this while loop. My list 0. My list 0, there isn't a 0 here. And then and current item, so this is question mark because my list 0 don't exist. But current item bigger than 0, this is false. And once it is false, it will not go into the while loop itself. It will skip to this last line. Item to be inserted, which is 21, is being assigned to my list. My current item is 0 now, my list 1. So my list 1 will be the current item to be inserted, which is 21, will be assigned to my list 1. So we are done with one round of this for loop. Our pointer will now increase to 3. My list 3, my list 3 is 60. That will be assigned to the item to be inserted. The current item is actually the pointer minus 1. So it is a 2. Let's check on this condition. My list 2, my list 2 is 53 now. Is 53 bigger than item to be inserted 60? And this is obviously a false. Is our current item bigger than 0? This is a true. Now, so we have a false and a true. It will be a false. So it will not get into the while loop. It will go to the line after the while loop. Item to be inserted, which is our 60, will have to now be assigned to my list. Current item is 2, so to my list 3. My list 3, so that will be assigned to 60. And we are done with another round of the for loop. The pointer will now increase to 4. My list 4, my list 4 is 18. Pointer minus 1, that will be 3, assigned to current item. Let's check the condition. My list current item, my list 3. My list 3 is 60. Bigger than the item to be inserted. Item to be inserted is 18. Is it bigger? Yes, true. Is my current item bigger than 0? Current item is 3. Bigger than 0? True. And since both are true, it goes into the while loop. The first line of the while loop talks about assigning my list current item 3, my list 3, which is 60, assigned to my list 4. Current item minus 1, that is 3 minus 1, so it's 2, assigned to current item 2. Now, when you are over here, for this while loop, you need to continue to check the condition again for the while loop. It has not gotten out of the while loop yet. My list 2, so is my list 2, is my list 2. 2 is 53, bigger than item to be inserted, which is 18. And that is true. Is current item still bigger than 0? True. Then what are we supposed to do? Both true, we get into the while loop again. Assign my list current item. My list current item is my list 2, which is 53. Assign that to my list 3, so that will be 53. Current item minus 1, and that becomes 1. Go back to check on the conditions for the while loop. my least 1 bigger, my least 1, so is least 1 is 21. Is 21 bigger than the item to be inserted? Item to be inserted is 18. Yes, it is true. And then current item is 1, so it's bigger than 0. So we go into the while loop again. My least 1, which is 21, assigned to my least 2. So that's 21. And my current item minus 1, that is 0. And we go back to check the condition for the while loop. My list 0, so we don't have a list 0. Is the current item bigger than 0? This is false. So we do not go into the while loop and we come to the last line after, which is after the while loop. Item to be inserted, which is 18, will be assigned to my list. Current is 0, my list 1. So there it goes over here. So you realize that we have up to this step, the values that we have in the array is 18, 21, 53, and 60. So up to the fourth element, we have a sorted array. Now we need to just continue to do the insertion sort for the fifth and the sixth element. Let's continue with the pointer increase by 1, and that would be 5. My list 5, which is 42, uh, assigned to the item to be inserted. Pointer minus 1 assigned to the current item, so that is 4. Check the condition for the while loop. Is my list current item is 4, is my list 4, which is 60, bigger than item to be inserted, which is 42? The answer is true. Is my current item, which is 4, bigger than 0? Yes, it is true. And since both are true, we go into the while loop. For the while loop, my list current item, my list 4, which is 60, will be assigned to my list 5. Current item minus 1, so that is 3 assigned to current item. So that's 3. Check the condition for the while loop again. My list 3. So my list 3 is 53. Is 53 bigger than the item to be inserted, which is 42? The answer is true. Is my current item, which is 3, bigger than 0? True. Then we go into the while loop. My list current item, my list 3 is 53, will have to be assigned to my list 4. So over here. Current item minus 1 assigned to current item, so that will decrease it by 1, so it's 2. Check the condition for the while loop. Is my list current item 2, my list 2 is 21, is 21 bigger than item to be inserted, which is 42? The answer is false. Is the current item, which is a 2, bigger than 0? Yes, it is a true. But for the case of a while loop condition, since we are using AND, a false and a true will make it as a false. False and true is false. So it will not go into the while loop. It it will get to the last line, the line after the while loop. Item to be inserted, assign to the my least current item, which is 2. 2 plus 1, that's 3. So item to be inserted will be assigned to my least 3. 42 will be assigned to my least 3. Okay. And we are done for this round of the for loop. The pointer will now increase to 6. My list 6, which is 19, pointer minus 1, assigned to current item, so that's 5. Check the condition for the while loop. My list 5, is my list 5 bigger than the item to be inserted? My list 5 is 60. Is it bigger than 19? The answer is true. Is my current item 5 bigger than 0? True. And we go into the while loop. My least current item, which is my list 5, my list 5 is having 60. 60 is assigned to my list 6. And then my current item minus 1, so that will be 4. Check the condition for the while loop. Is my least current item is 4. My list 4 is actually 53. Is 53 bigger than 19? The answer is true. Is my current item 4 bigger than 0? The answer is true. True and true will go into the while loop. My least current item, my list 4 is 53, will be assigned to my list 5. Then the current item decreased by 1, so that becomes 3. Check the condition for the while loop. Is my list 3 is 42 bigger than our item to be inserted, 19? The answer is true. Is my current item 3 bigger than 0? True. True and true will go into the while loop. My least current item is 3. My list 3 is 42. 42 will be assigned to my list 4. Current minus 1. So current is 3 minus 1, that will be 2. Check through the condition for the while loop. Current item, my least current item, my list 2, which is 21. Is 21 bigger than 19? The answer is true. Is my current item, which is a 2, bigger than 0? The answer is true. True will go into the while loop. My least current item is 2, so my list 2 is 21. 21 assign the value 21 to my list 3. And then my current item decreased by 1, so that's 1. Check the condition for the while loop. Item to be inserted. Okay, my list 1 is 18. Is 18 bigger than 19? The answer is false. Is the current item, which is 1, bigger than 0? The answer is true. A false and a true will become a false, so it will not go into the while loop. It goes to the line after the while loop. item to be inserted, which is 19, have to be assigned to my least current item, which is a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So will be assigned to my list 2. My list 2, the current item to be inserted, that will be 19 assigned to here. Okay, so all in all, that's the end of the algorithm. What we have in summary, at the end we have 18, we have 19, we have 21, we have 42, 53, and 60. So we have done the sorting using the insertion sort algorithm.